Does your trainer or your coaches keep giving you phrases and things on what you should be doing during your exercises that maybe you're not understanding? Well, on this episode of Under the Rig, here's some top phrases that your trainers may be using that you don't understand, but what they really mean. Does your trainer keep telling you to push your butt back when you're squatting because your knees are shooting over your toes, and maybe you're like, I am pushing my butt back, and sometimes it gets hard understanding what that really means. So an easy tactic or a simple tactic to understand what we're talking about is we're going to take this band. I'm going to have Bailey put this band around himself on this side, around his waist. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a little bit back here. So now the first movement I want to be is with that band, sinking down, still driving the knees out, to feel as if somebody's pulling you back by your belt. Again, gooing the feet down. Good. One more. So again, when you're squatting in particular, thinking hips back at the same time, if not a little before, your knees come out and you start to lower your body. Maybe your trainer or your coach is telling you to keep your core tight, whether you're pressing or you're doing really any exercise. I'm sure you guys can relate, but notice how here he's pressing, he's arching his lower back, his rib cage is flared out. I'm sure over time as he gets fatigued, he's going to feel it in his lower back. So how many of you feel the pressing motion in your lower back? And yet your trainer, your coach is telling you, keep your core tight. So imagine as if he is pressing out in space here, and we're telling him, keep your core tight, right? And we have this massive arch where I can pretty much dive right through to the other side. So using a wall is a fantastic tool to understand what that really means. So I'm going to tell Coach Bailey, what I want you to do is I want you to push your rib cage down towards your hips. Do not let me get in between his back and the wall as he sends his arms up overhead. Pressing. Now, do you see the difference between what's happening at his rib cage? Give us a bad rep again. You see how that rib cage flares up, pushing into that wall. Another one you might not see, but we'll give a cue here, is tucking your tail underneath you to push back into that wall. So you at home or wherever you're training at, try this. Can you accomplish this? If it becomes too difficult, what I do is I'll take a band for Bailey. I'm going to place it right in the small of his back. Go ahead and let me in there right there. Good. Push against that band. And I'm just going to tell him, don't let me pull this band out. You notice how he's really working. We don't need weight here. But this is what we mean. Go ahead and come out into space. Pressing, keeping your core tight. Another common one you might hear when you're pressing, bench pressing, barbell or dumbbell is keep your shoulders together, especially here at Impactt. Pinch your shoulder blades. Keep your shoulder blades pinned down. And you notice here, those shoulders rounding at the top of the press, rounding as soon as he finishes. He's unable to keep his shoulder blades together. What we want you to do and what it should look like is pinch that bench with your shoulder blades and do not let it go. Now notice the difference all the way down. Press, shoulders not rounding at the top. And hopefully you at home can see that difference, and I promise you'll feel the difference because you'll actually start using your pec muscles versus just your shoulder joint and your delt. So think about pressing to the floor, squeezing your glutes, and using your upper back to grab this bench as hard as you can. Does your trainer or coach, whenever you're doing a bent over fly, bent over row, or any kind of hinge, tell you, you need to put your chest out, you need to flatten your back, and you're looking like this? Another cue that we're going to cue for that is if you utilize a mirror and you have a logo on your t-shirt and you cannot see it, that's the problem. So what I want you to do is I want you to lift your chest out while pushing through your back. Now pull from there. Now he can see every bit of his logo. A nice straight line, tension through the spine. So again, think about lifting your sternum up, all the while arching your lower back with your hips back. Excellent. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Under the Rig, where we tackled some pretty common trainer/coaches cues that we love to throw at you guys. Hopefully this will give a little insight to what those actually mean and for you to come in and try to apply that next time.